In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I did these boho braids on my daughter, who is a teenager now. She's so old. This is the hair I use. I'm going to tell you now, the Empire hair is very soft. It feels nice. It does mat up easily. Be careful. The expression hair is just fine. And for those that are wondering about that study and all the carcinogens in braiding hair, expression hair was not listed among that. It was checked and cleared. Read the paperwork, baby. At any rate, I'm going ahead and sectioning the hair out, putting it on my braid rack. This is the Empire hair once I took it out of the bag. As you can see, like I said, it does look nice, but I've got to prep that as well. So I'm going to go ahead. You can see the match, I think, is pretty good, especially once we kind of get everything defined at the end. I'm going to go ahead and toss on a wristband, and we'll slap some braiding gel right on that. This way I can use my braiding gel and not contaminate the whole thing. If you're working as a professional braider, get you one of these. Stop digging in that doggone braiding gel that germs from everybody else's hair has been in. We're going to go ahead and take off the tie that's holding this hair together, and then I'm going to take out small sections of hair. We'll use some braiding gel to add to the ends of this hair, and this is going to help us to piece this hair out. I'm going to comb through that, and that helps to separate out the ends of the hair. And then once I have that pretty well smooth, I'm going to start taking those and separating them out of the bundle. That's how I'll be picking up my pieces to add to the braids as I braid. So I hope that makes sense. If not, like, you can kind of see me doing it here, and you'll see how I add in here shortly. This is my daughter, Alexandria. She's a big kid now. I told her she shampooed her hair and conditioned it for me really well. I would go ahead and do it for her. So she cartwheeled to that shower. You hear me? At any rate, we're going to blow her hair smooth. You can see her curl pattern has loosened some because now that she's old and crusty, she's liking to have her hair in a number of different hairstyles. She does enjoy having it pressed and things like that. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and blow dry through all of this hair. Yes, her hair is very thick. And then I've already got the first row pretty much done, but I do want to show you how I'm adding this hair in. I'm going to show you a couple times, but I want you to see I start adding hair in immediately because I just think it looks better. So we're going to go ahead and pinch at the scalp in between my index finger and my thumb. I will then use my index finger to hold that hair at the scalp so it doesn't slide. Go under. So we do 1 and 2, and then we're going to add again. Add right in between there. Bring my right strand back in, push at the scalp, go 1, 2, and then we're going to add in our third strand. So I only add in 3 strands of the braiding hair. Some people use up to 6. I don't really care for how that looks as it goes from really thin to being a much bulkier braid. And I also feel like I'm not going to go a whole bunch of steps before I start adding in hair. I'm going to come down a little ways, and then we're going to add in our first piece of human hair. It's blurry at first. I will clear it up, so just be patient with me, baby. Be patient. Give me a second. I notice it right here. Bam, back in focus. So we're going to bring it underneath that right strand over the middle and add to the left strand, and then I'm going to clip that up out of the way. Don't worry, I will show you how I do that again. We're going to go ahead and braid that down 3 to 4 inches. Now, the distance that you decide to braid down before you add in more hair is up to you or whoever's hair you're braiding based on how full you want that end result. So the more hair you add, the fuller it is. Some people want to see more braids than they do hair. Other people want to see more hair than they do braids. Let's add in again. We're going to go under that outside strand, over the middle, and add to the left. And then we're going to braid under, pin that hair out of the way, and continue braiding as usual. That's my pin up there. And we'll go ahead and bring that right on down, just like this here. Now, if your tucking is on point, you shouldn't have to worry with too many straight pieces sticking out once you get to the end of that hair that you added in. But if it does, just trim it with some scissors. It's not a big deal. That's not their hair. It's the hair that we're adding in. We're going to go ahead and add in another piece. So you see my right strand, go under that. Okay? Over the middle and add to the left strand. Then we're going to kind of trade places, pin that up out of the way, and then continue to braid right on down, just like this here. I hope that made a little bit more sense seeing it that time. Like I said, I'm going to show you in another spot on the head, so don't panic, boo-boo. I haven't forgot about you. We'll go ahead and bring that down another 3 to 4 inches. You can see I'm doing that same pattern, same distance, all the way down to my sections. We're now getting down to the ends of her hair, so I added in some more braiding hair just to kind of control that hair. Once I braid past her hair, I'm going to add in another piece. Okay, you can see how that's looking there. We'll pick up another piece of our hair here. And then from there, we'll go ahead and add in. Now, if you braid pretty well, you don't typically have to worry about pinning this hair out of the way. Some people like to pin up all the hair. Either way is totally fine. And then I'm just going to go all the way down. Hold on, let me show you how to knot it off. So once I get down to the bottom, I'm going to pinch off just a small section of hair. Okay? And I'm going to wrap that around the braid, making like a circle around it. And we're going to bring that hair through the top of the circle and pull down. That's going to knot off. We're going to do that twice. Sometimes you'll have to do it like 3 times. It depends on how silky the hair is. Okay? Pull it through the circle and down. Now it's knotted, so it's not coming undone until I want it to. From there, my next row, you can see I have them bricklayed, so the braids fall in between the previous row of braids. This helps to keep the hair from looking spacey or gapped, especially if your client has thin hair. Once I get to the round of the head, like where a man would usually bald, that horseshoe section up there, I'm going to change my direction and cut straight across, making 2 triangle sections. So triangle on the right, square in the middle, and a triangle on the left. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and braid those to come straight down, again, bricklaying it with our previous sections. And yeah, so you can see from parietal ridge on up, that's where I changed my braiding pattern. Here is another angle so you can see a bit better. I honestly like this angle better. So you can see as soon as I go in, I'm going to go under, pinch my middle strand, or go under my middle strand, pinch the right strand, add in between your index finger and your pointer. I pulled out of the way so you can see. And then we're going to go ahead and pick those 2 up, add them together, push that against the scalp so it doesn't slide. Pick up 1. Okay, go under your middle, pick up 2. And we're going to add to that strand that we're pinching right now. So again, move that out of the way. You don't have to move out of the way, it's just so you can see. We're gonna pinch it, okay? Add my hair to it, put my index finger at the scalp, prevent it from sliding, and go under 1, under 2, add a 3rd time. Okay? So we're gonna add in my 3rd time. If this is still too complicated for you, I do have a tutorial on how to do knotless braids for visual learners that would help you. That's honestly a bit of a different technique. I would highly suggest checking that out, and I'll link it to this video as well. Once we do that, we can go ahead and then start adding in our hair. I try to add it in pretty early. So take your piece, add it under that right strand, over the middle, and add it to the left. Then we're gonna take that hair and clip it up out of the way. Now I notice her hair is darker than the hair we're adding at the top, but I'm not concerned with what it looks like there. I'm concerned with the ends of her hair, and the ends of her hair match this color of hair very well. Then we're gonna braid that down about 3 to 4 inches. And once we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and add in another piece. Now, I will tell you now, when you're first learning this, you'll probably wanna add in less pieces because it is arduous, it is laborious, it takes forever. But if you're down for, getting in there and you have quick hands, by all means, please go right ahead, baby. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do all that, and then I want you to see, once I finish that braid, this is what that braid looks like when it's hanging out. Those little straight pieces that are poking up, we'll trim with some scissors, but yes, that's the loose hair that's hanging out. When we completely finish, you can see those straight pieces. Now we need to tackle that, but I want you to see from top to bottom what this is looking like, how that hair is bricklayed so it looks full and you don't see a ton of scalp other than at the very top of the head. From there, I'm going to take some flexi rods. We're going to wrap this hair around the flexi rods like a curling wand, and then we're going to flip up the bottom, turn down the top. So flip that bottom up, turn down the top so it doesn't slide, and then lock it in place by bending that bottom over the top of it. And I'm going to do this in rows just because it's easier for me that way. So again, wrap it around like this. Flip up the bottom like this. Flip the top down like this. And then go ahead and wrap that around so it doesn't budge. Okay? From there, I'm going to use boiling hot water. So you see I've got a towel on her shoulders. Yes, I am putting the human hair in there as well because it's human hair. If you're using synthetic hair to do this, clip that synthetic hair up and out of the way so it doesn't end up in the water. Otherwise, those will be straight pieces. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm going to go ahead and dunk that in. I don't care about that hair getting wet because I need to wet it anyway before I add the mousse to it. So while I'm waiting on that hair to cool down, I'm going to use this Lock and Braid control foam, and we're going to put that on there. By the way, all the products that I'm using are linked in the description box and in the top pinned comment. We're going to place this on the hair and then place it all the way down. So I'm getting it on her hair as well as the loose hair that is hanging out of the braids. It's going to help out with definition, and it helps to hold her braids in place a bit more. So you can see I'm going through and adding it to the loose pieces as well. From there, we're going to go ahead and unwrap those flexi rods from the hair, and I'm going to let those hang. And then in the next clip, we're going to go through there and we'll start trimming that hair up just to kind of make sure it doesn't look straggly and like, girl, what happened? So here, I apologize. I didn't know where my camera was. So you can't really see it really well, but we're trimming up the ends of that hair just so it's not looking super spacey. It doesn't have stragglers. Yeah, you can kind of tell what's happening there, even though you can't see it per se. I'll show you here in a minute. And this is her finished result. I love how it turned out on her, but feel free to let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Take care, God bless, stay glam, and you know we love you, boo. And of course, if you like this tutorial and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Love you, boo. Bye.